All right, so we're going to begin today sitting up. If you need to sit on a prop or anything to make you more comfortable, go ahead. And whenever you're ready to, you can rest your hands in your lap. You might close your eyes now and make sure you feel really comfortable, quite balanced in your seat. And begin to look at everything that comes up with a sort of indifference. I know that that can sound a little bit, maybe not exciting or not healthful necessarily, because you don't want to dim the light on anything. But just see what happens if everything that comes and everything that goes, you can see with neutrality. I talked a lot on Saturday about habits. I talked a lot about habits many, many times. I'm going to talk about it again. But in these terms, right, so when we notice the stories that we tell ourselves, and we've all noticed that there is quite a substantial bit of repetition there. It's important to remember that the body, the brain, all of our systems really like, it's almost like an automatic, it's like a rule of physics, this sort of dynamic equilibrium. So homeostasis, think of it. When it is used to something, when something is solidified as a habit, it will go back to it and back to it and back to it, which is so good for us in so many ways. We can't overlook that. It's better for us than it is worse for us in a lot of ways. It only messes with us when those habits of thinking, is what we're talking about now, that becomes so easy to go to, the path is so thoroughly paved, we get there before we even realize that we're there. It's only a bit of a struggle when we know that those habits aren't helping. So go ahead and let your forehead soften. Maybe feel a sense of ease in your posture so you're not leaning forward or back, just a gentle uprightness. And notice where your mind goes when you don't direct it anywhere specifically. Notice the habits you fall into. Now, I found that one of the useful things to do is to look with neutrality at our habits so that they don't become powerful or more powerful. And also so that when things come up, we don't fall into some other habit to cover it up, right? When some emotion comes up and then we go to something so that we don't have to pay attention to it. It's also a habit we're not trying to strengthen much. But one of the easiest and I think most useful and feel good ways of delving out of habits that don't serve us is creating other ones. We've done this before by actually and actively practicing joy and effortlessness. So take a moment, we'll let this be your intention as we practice today. Take a moment to consider the habit that you want to make stronger. And it can be a very, very simple thing, one of the big values that we have, right? Like joy or peace or love. But as long as you don't feel like you're just kind of repeating that, like just because I said it, I want it to be something that kind of strikes you a little bit, that feels like it's something that could be quite useful in your life right now. And maybe you found that there's a word or two or three that you can just keep in your pocket, keep close to your heart, so to speak. And let's start noticing the breath. So we'll keep coming back to this new habit we're trying to build today, whenever we need to, just to make sure we're pointing our arrow in the direction we want it to be pointed. But let's pay a little bit more attention to the breath now than anything else. Let's shift the habit, right? Let's make it so that the reward is going back to the breath every time we notice we went away from it. That's the reward. That's what you get, which can make the actual attention to the breath so much more pleasant. It is the reward. It is the point, going back to the breath. And maybe you begin Ujjayi breathing, closing off the back of the throat until you hear that whisper. And when you become distracted, when you go into default thinking, a little note that this is your mind taking care of you. There's nothing wrong with it. But you can go back to that word or couple of words, this habit that you're actually going to create and strengthen. Again, pointing your arrow. Maybe it's to peace of mind or gentleness or strength, whatever it was you thought of. Go to your breath. Now, when you're ready to, take a big breath into your rib cage. And when you breathe out, pull your belly in and leave it in. Take another big breath in, belly in, big breath in through your rib cage. Belly in. And exhale. Now inhale, relax your belly. Imagine you could put the breath just in the belly. Rib cage doesn't move much. Exhale, keep your rib cage pretty still. Inhale in the belly, keep the rib cage still. Exhale, pull the belly in. Imagine you can cinch your waist and your low back in as well. And the next time you breathe in, fill up only your rib cage, keep the belly still and engaged. Exhale, empty the rib cage. Inhale, fill the rib cage. Exhale, empty the rib cage. Inhale, relax your rib cage, fill your belly. The diaphragm moves down. And let the belly stay relaxed. And just go back to some normal breathing. We'll revisit that later and only briefly. We're not going to go into it a lot. And roll your shoulders once or twice. Now, I recommend if you want to keep your eyes closed for what we do. If you need to see something, I'm going to be facing the camera for a lot of this and facing you guys. So feel free. But what you're going to do first is with your hands resting on your knees, tuck your chin. Now we're going to move through some flexion and extension in the spine, so through cat-cows, but you're going to leave your chin tucked, okay? So go ahead and exhale, really drop your chin towards the notch of the throat. Inhale, tilt your pelvis like you were going into cow pose, lift your sternum, but keep your chin tucked, and pull on your legs, driving your shoulder blades in towards each other. And then exhale, tuck your tailbone, move your back towards the floor behind you. The chin's already tucked, so just let the head drop even more. Keep the chin tucked. Inhale, anteriorly tilt your pelvis, lift your sternum. Keep your chin tucked. And exhale, go back. Inhale, find your back bend. not in the cervical spine, though, not in the neck. Keep your chin tucked. Lift your chest. And then exhale, keep your chin tucked, go back. Inhale forward. And then when you finish inhaling, finally lift your face. Leave it lifted. Breathe in when you're ready. Again. Exhale, leave your face lifted, but go with the rest of your back into cat pose. So round your back. Inhale, pull forward. Cat. Exhale, keep your chin up. Don't do anything that hurts your neck or shoulders, of course, but go into your cat pose with your chin still lifted and keep going. Good. When you're ready, everyone, take a breath in, bring your back to neutral, and breathe out, tuck your chin. Hopefully it feels really good. Inhale, drop your right ear over your right shoulder. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, left shoulder. And to center. Right. Center and left. Keep going. Now you'll go over your left shoulder one more time. Back to center. And then lift your face. So you're back in a neutral spine, but it might feel totally different. Go ahead and bring your left hand to your right leg, your right fingertips to the floor behind you, and twist. And we're going to be doing quite a lot of twisting today and some side bending too. Go ahead and take a big breath in, relax your belly, and breathe out. Relax your belly. Turn your chin all the way to the right. Breathe in, belly relax. Breathe out, belly relax, but then pull your belly in at the end of the exhale and keep it in. Inhale, fill your rib cage. Keep your belly in. Exhale, relax the rib cage. Belly in, fill the rib cage. Relax it. Relax everything. Come on back to center. And let's just twist over to the other side. If you need a little break in between, of course, feel free. But holding on to your leg. Turning your chin, nose, and eyes all the way to the left. And when you're ready to, breathe in. Push your fingertips into the floor. Turn your rib cage around. Breathe out. Inhale again. Exhale, belly in. Waist in, back in, and exhale, maybe twist a little deeper. Inhale, fill your rib cage. Belly stays in, exhale, empty the rib cage. Fill the rib cage. Empty it. Maybe let your belly relax a whole bunch, one more breath. Turn your chin. And come on back to center. Go ahead and lift your face. Tuck your chin. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, lift your face, lift your arms. And exhale, twist over to the right. So go ahead and just look to center so you can see what's going on. Take your time. You're going to take your right arm under your left elbow and see if you can grab onto your left knee. Lift it up, lift the knee up if you need to grab it. Yep, and come out of your twist, come out of the twist. So you're facing forward. Lift your knees, round your back a little bit and drop your head. Go ahead and sit up, let go of your right leg. Drop your knees, twist to the left. Come on back to center with your face. Take your left arm, needle it underneath your right, lift your knee up so you can grab it, and then round your back, drop your head. Start to sit up. Take your right hand behind you and twist. So we're going to do that just a breath to breath. Okay, take your time, take extra time if you need it. Inhale, take your right arm under your left, grab your knee, and exhale, round your back. Inhale, sit up, and exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, left arm goes under right, grab your knee, and exhale, round your back. Inhale, sit up, and exhale, twist to the right. Go ahead and switch. And on the exhale, you round your back. And twist. And switch. And twist. And switch. But the next time you bring your left hand behind you, we're going to switch it up just a little bit though. So go ahead and needle your left arm under again. We'll meet twisting over to the right. And then you're going to take your right arm over your left arm. Grab your knee, lift them up, lift your knees up, bend your elbows, lift your chest a little bit, and then lean back, just round your back. Inhale, lift your chest up some. And exhale, round your back. It's okay if there's very little movement here. Oftentimes, the length of your torso, like width-wise, the length of your arms, what's happening with your hips and back, all that can affect it. So don't worry if it feels like not a whole lot of movement happening. That's totally fine. When you're ready to, let go with your left hand and twist to the left. Go ahead and take that left arm over the right, grab onto your knee. Lift your knees up, let your elbows bend if they do, lift your chest, and exhale, lean back. And inhale forward. And exhale back. One more time. Now let's release, twist over to the right. And when you're ready, come on back to center, twist over to the left. Okay, ready, find your breath. Inhale, exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, exhale, twist to the left. To the right, just a couple more like this. To the left. Come on back to center, lift your elbows out like a goalpost or a cactus. Take your time, you might want to roll your shoulders around and give yourself some less kind of specific movement just because it feels good. If you want to cross your other leg on top, we've got a couple more things to do sitting, but not a lot. When you're ready, breathe in. And when you breathe out, anchor down with your legs, twist over to the right, keep your arms up. For me, there's a lot more to feel here in my torso. Come on back to center. Twist to the left. Inhale back to center, relax your belly. Exhale, twist to the right, pull your belly in. Center, relax the belly. Left belly in. Center. Right. Center. Left. Wait for your breath. One more time each side on your own. And when you're ready, come to center. So after you go over to the left again, come to center, stay there. Yeah. Breathe in here. And then exhale, side bend over to the right, but keep your elbows like a cactus. Good. Now take your left arm, the one on top, and just reach it alongside your ear. Notice how that feels. Hopefully it's really good. Draw that left elbow down, sit back up. And exhale, side bend in the other direction. When you're ready, inhale, stretch out that arm. And exhale there. Bend your elbow, sit back up. One more time to the right with your side bend. If you want to put your hand to the floor, feel free, it's up to you. Stretch out that left arm. And back up, other side. Stretching out that right arm. And back to center. Now we'll switch it up just a little bit. When you're ready, twist over to the right. Bring your left hand to your right leg. Straighten out that right arm. And then as you twist, do a little side bend over your left leg. For me, it feels best on my back if I push down with my legs and my arm and leg are really pressing into each other. Lots and lots of breath. Come on back to center, elbows bend. Twist to the left. Bring your right hand to your leg. And then do a bit of a side bend. And stretch that left arm alongside the face or the ear. And breathe, breathe, breathe. Look beyond your elbow if you'd like. Perfect. Come on back to center. It might feel nice just to sit here. That was so much bending and turning, more twisting in 10 minutes than we normally do all week. So if you want to just kind of relax or just let your body tell you what to do next, go ahead. But eventually, I'd like for everyone to interlace the fingers behind the back. You don't have to interlace the thumbs and forefingers if you don't want to. Move your shoulder blades in towards each other, and then lift your hands as you straighten your elbows in a pain-free way up towards the ceiling. Your hands might touch the floor, that's okay. You might have to keep your chin tucked, your back might be rounded, that's okay. Just breathe here. Shoulder blades in. And when you're ready to, relax. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees out. Inhale again, lift your sit bones, lift your sternum, lift your face, and just check out how this feels. It will probably be pretty different from what you're used to. And then exhale, tuck under. Bend forward. Hold whatever one you want to. If one feels especially good, feel free. If you need to just be still and sit up, that's fine too. But let's soon, before we move on, do a couple cat-cows on hands and knees. And again, just check out how they feel. You've done so much to stimulate the tissues of your back, of your whole torso really, and your shoulders. Go ahead and reconnect with your breath. And again, lift the sit bones, sternum and nose. Exhale, tuck under. Do you want to see how it feels in the neck and upper back? Maybe leave your chin tucked for a couple, or leave it lifted. And if you become lost in thought, if you go somewhere, is it conducive to your goal, your intention? That 1 or 2 or 3 word little mantra? And if it isn't, go back, start again. You might just leave everything be for a bit and go back to your breath, back to your body. And if you're really enjoying your cat-cow, keep up with them. If you'd rather be in downward dog, go ahead. Okay, from downward dog, or from hands and knees, shift your weight forward into plank pose, and exhale, lower to your belly. Bring the tops of the feet to the floor, shoulder blades in towards each other, and then as you pull your belly in just a bit, lift up into a back bend. Pull your belly in for this one. You know, not for always, not even for often, but just for today. How does it feel to pull your belly button towards your spine? Go ahead and come down, up to hands and knees, and into downward dog. And travel up to the front of the mat, folding forward. Inhale, lift the back up some and gaze forward. Bring the fingertips to the floor and step the left foot back. So we're going to go into a high lunge. We're going to lift the torso and the arms up. You don't have to have a really super wide stance, just one that feels a little bit more kind of powerful. So maybe your feet aren't crazy far apart. Lift your arm and just have a couple of breaths here. So the farther apart the feet are, the more likely we are to pull the pelvis in ways that are totally fine and healthy. But because your legs are doing two vastly different things. And when the feet are a little bit closer to each other, we can shift that some. You can still deeply extend your back leg and deeply flex your front. But notice how it's a little bit easier with a shorter stance to keep your torso, your rib cage stacked over your hips. Less likely to super curve in your lower back. So have a few breaths here on your own. I'm not going to say anything. Just notice what comes up. Let's bring the fingertips to the floor. Step forward and fold. Lift halfway. Right foot back. Not a super short stance, not a super long stance, just something that feels pretty good on your legs. They can be really strong, pretty active, but you don't feel like the feet are so far apart that you're really curving in your lower back in order to sit upright. All right, fingertips to the floor. Let's step forward and fold. Inhale, lift the back up some again. Exhale, fingertips come down and the left foot goes back. When you're ready, take the right arm and reach it alongside the right ear forward towards the front of the room. Inhale here, and then exhale, turn your rib cage to the right so you float right into a twist. Lengthen the left side of the rib cage away from the left side of the pelvis. Now take the right arm, the one you're lifting, and reach it back towards the back of your mat. Yep, if you need to look, feel free, but you're gonna stand up and go right into a twist from here. Yeah, so you twist your spine a bit, reaching your right hand back, left arm forward. It's a lot, take your time. And then from here, you can kind of rotate, helicopter your arms out into warrior two. So a little bit of footwork. And then take both of your arms up. And just for an exhale, reach and lean over your back leg. If you need to put your left hand to your leg for more support, that's great. Inhale to sit up. And exhale to bring your fingertips to the floor. Let's step back, take your time, into child's pose or downward dog. When you're ready, make your way onto your knees. Pad up underneath them if you need to. We're not going to do anything super crazy on the knees, so you might not need any padding if you sometimes do. But you are going to stand up. And when you're ready to, take your arms out into that goalpost shape. Yeah. Inhale, and then exhale. Take the right side of the rib cage to the right, and then tilt it down a little bit. And inhale, lift that left arm alongside your ear. Yep, side bending. Come on, back up, bend your elbows. And you'll side bend over to the other side. Stretching out your top arm. And back to center. We'll do that again. If you want, you can reach both arms to frame your face. Back up. Take your time. And to the other side. Back up. And from here, bend your elbows again if you have them straight. Take them in towards each other behind you and tuck your tailbone. I know it can seem kind of counterintuitive when you really think of it. We're going into a back bend. Why should we tuck our tailbone so much? Doesn't that help with forward fold? But it just gives so much strength in the back of the leg. So let's just either stay here, squeezing your arms towards each other behind you, Or lift your sternum and your face. Just an inch can take you so far. And then sit up. Lift your arms. Maybe stay here and just focus on tucking the tailbone, reaching the fingers up. You can lift your shoulders and your shoulder blades as much as you want to. Everyone tuck the tailbone if you'd like, just an inch or so. Lift your chest. Come on back up. So tiny back bends, tiny but mighty. Bring your hands to the floor. Child's pose, downward dog, do what you need. So, we don't really run out of energy. It's not like a battery that, or we can run out of energy as far as tiredness goes, but I meant to say attention. We don't run out of attention like a battery that goes low. But if you find a lot's going on, your attention is more likely to go into default stuff because it's a little bit easier. It's already there. It's homeostatic, right? So again, keep noticing, keep doing the work. Is your attention what you want it to be on? And if it isn't, simply pick it up and place it on your intention. Point the arrow, go to your breath. Let's walk up to the front of the mat. We'll do a couple of forward folds just to stretch out the legs a little. So when you're ready, inhale, lift your back up as high as feels really good on it. And then when you exhale, fold. You can lift your sit bones. If you want to take your belly in, feel free. Inhale halfway up. And use the whole exhale to fold and just keep going. So we're emphasizing stretching out the hamstrings a little bit here. If you have to bend your knees, that's okay. But note that means you're going to be stretching out your hamstrings still, especially at the top if you're lifting your sit bones. But if you can straighten your legs and it just means you don't fold as much, but it's interesting and painless, then try it. Grab the floor with your feet. The next time you're lifting halfway up, lower your fingertips and send your right foot back. Now we're eventually going to be asking the legs to balance us, so the hands are not going to be on the floor. Just to prepare for that, you might get kind of light in your right hand already, so you're not depending on it too much. Take your left arm up alongside your face and find your breath. When you're ready, exhale, rotate your rib cage to the left. Keep your eyes focused. You might keep them right where they are now on that one thing. And then as you push your feet into the floor, lift up, reaching your left hand back and your right arm forward. The arms do not have to be straight out to a T. Focus more on your breathing and on rotating your rib cage around. And then come on back to center and right into warrior two. Perfect. Lift your arms up and lean over the back leg. If you want to put your right hand to your leg or not lean back very far, whatever feels best for you. And then the hands come to the floor at the front of the mat. Step back in a downward dog. Inhale into plank pose, and the knees will be up or down your pick. Tuck your tailbone. Lower your left hip a couple inches to the floor. Maybe bend the knee, and then lift it up. And then your right hip, and then lift it up. If that is too much, just hold plank pose, squeezing your glutes, squeezing your belly. Otherwise, hip dips down, and then the other does. You don't have to drop your heels side to side. You can, but you could just let your hip point move towards the floor and then scoop back up. Again, a little goes a long way here, especially because we're on our hands, not our forearms. Your hip might only drop a couple inches or an inch even. Now let's place the knees to the floor if they're not already there and come onto the belly. And when you're ready, tuck the tailbone, pull your torso forward like you just got an inch taller, and then lift your chest up. Maybe lift some of the ribs off the floor. Maybe glide the shoulder blades back and in, and come on back down to the belly. Up to hands and knees, into downward dog. So that sequence where we lift up into that kind of fancy, balancy twist, we're going to do it a bunch. But we won't be stepping back into downward dog for a while yet. Walk up to the front of your mat and fold. Inhale, lift the back up some. Bring the fingertips to the floor and lift your left leg up. Go ahead and quietly step the left foot back so it lands down. Very, very light in the left fingertip. Reach your right arm alongside your face. And twist over to the right. Good. And then stand up. Turning your rib cage to the right. Out into warrior two on the other side. Any kind of reverse warrior you want. Fingertips come to the floor to frame the front foot. Lift the left leg up again. And then with your eyes focused, you might blink a couple times. Let go of the floor. Bring your left foot next to your right, and then fold forward and hold on to the floor again. Inhale, lift the back up some, look forward. Fingertips come down and the right leg lifts up. Now put very little lean in your fingers. Bend your left knee, keep breathing. And let the right foot come to the floor, landing kind of quietly. Right fingertips are light, but they're on the ground. Left arm alongside the ear. Twist to the left. Focus your eyes and stand up. Twisting even more. Spinning out into warrior two. Take your time, adjust your feet so everything feels good. Perfect. And reverse warrior. Fingertips come to the floor. Right foot lifts up. Focus your eyes. Don't forget to blink. At my optometrist today, he told me I'm a blink cheater. I blink halfway, and he says it doesn't count. You have to blink all the way. Let go of the floor. Put your right foot down next to your left and fold. So that's it, everyone. We're going to do that a couple more times. You don't have to wait for anything but your breath. Inhale. Fingertips come down, left foot comes up. Try not to depend too much on the weight of putting weight in your hands. Step your left foot back, it lands quietly. Right arm alongside the face. Turn the rib cage to the right. And like someone's pulling on your right hand and lifting you up, come on up, still twisting. And then warrior two. And reverse warrior. Take your time, stay with your breath. Fingertips frame the front foot. Lift your left leg in the air. Maybe the hands get really light. Left foot down next to the right and fold. Inhale. As you breathe out, fingertips down, right foot up. Trust your body, go to your breath. Let the right foot land quietly behind you. Right fingertips are light on the floor, left arm alongside the ear, twist. Right hand very light. Stand up. So when you take your spine away from your front hip, it changes the twist so much. I'm sure you can feel it. Come on back to center and out into warrior two. And reverse warrior. Fingertips frame the front foot. Back leg lift. Hands very light. Right foot next to left and fold. Good. Inhale, lift the back up some. Left leg up in the air. Maybe the hands are up in the air too. Step the foot back, left fingertips very light on the floor, right arm alongside the face. Twist to the right. Left hand so light, go ahead and stand up. Turn your rib cage. And then out into warrior two. And reverse warrior. Fingertips down. Right foot lift. Hands nice and light. Or back foot, sorry. Back foot comes down next to the standing foot. Fold. Take a breath in. Fingertips low. Right leg high. Step the foot back. So try to keep your right heel off of the floor if you can. Left arm alongside the face, twist. Now again, try to keep your right heel up if you can. And lift up into your twist. Now go ahead and drop the right heel and go out into warrior two. And reverse warrior. And fingertips down at the front of the mat. Lift the back foot up. Really lighten the hands. Right foot next to the left. Let's go into Malasana. So separate your feet however far you want them to be. If you don't like Malasana, you can do a standing forward fold instead. But if you are happy here, find the variation that you really like so it doesn't feel like much of a challenge and you can really center your attention again. Again, our attention doesn't really run out, but when our resources are a little low, when our energy is a little low, the attention will default to the easy stuff, the stuff that we're already really used to thinking. And often that's the problem-solving stuff. So just place your attention again on your intention and feed whatever points you there. Everything else comes up and goes. Now, this might feel like a lot, but we're actually going to come up to stand from here, and you can take extra time and extra breaths and do it however you want to. You might roll your shoulders and let your eyelids shut all the way. So when you're ready to, open the arms out to a T. Lift your left foot behind you a little bit and let your right leg start to take over. So you're going to lean your torso forward. Left leg starts to lift in the air like you're floating through warrior three. Grab the floor with your right foot. Focus your eyes pointing your nose to the floor. And you might decide it's smart to stay here. You might decide it's smart or interesting or both to twist over to the right. Keep looking at the floor, but turn your rib cage to the right. Go ahead and step the left foot way back, or it doesn't have to be way back. And lift up into your twist. Last time, on this side. Warrior two. Perfect. Let's lean over the back leg. Bring the fingertips down to frame the front foot. Lift the left leg up in the air. And we'll just put the left foot down next to the right foot. Put a bunch of space in between your feet. Take a breath in. Hands to the shins, lift your back up some. Keep your back up some, but interlace your fingers behind it. Now, snug your shoulder blades in, lift the thumb side of the hands up, and then go ahead and fold forward. Drop your head. And if you want, you can bend one knee and then the other. You don't have to make your feet perfectly parallel. It feels better not to. Good. Go ahead and release your hands towards your back and then the floor. Perfect. And if you want, you can wiggle your feet closer together. You don't have to, but come up to stand however you like. Rolling your shoulders again, whatever you like. And open your arms out to a T. Take your right foot back a little bit. Grab the floor with your left foot. Let your whole everything knows that the left leg's taken over. Focus your eyes, soften your jaw, and start to hinge at the hip as you lift your right leg up. Maybe you stay. Keep your eyes where they are. And if you want to, start to rotate your rib cage. And maybe the right fingertips reach down and the left up. Right foot lands lightly on the floor. And you lift up into your last funky standing twist. And your last, maybe less funky warrior two. Reverse warrior. Fingertips frame the front foot. Step forward. Letting your right foot float to the floor eventually, or soon, doesn't matter. And then back into Malasana. And you can do this Malasana to enjoy it, or just to transition to the floor, because the point is to get a little closer to the ground so we can lie down. So if you want to hold your Malasana, your squat for longer, go ahead. If you're ready to come out, sit. Take your time. So if you need to rest, like if you're already on your back and you want to just hang out there for a while, go ahead. If you want to try again a little bit of what we did earlier, just to test it out, make your way up to sit. When you're ready to, twist over to the right. We won't be here long. So again, if you're on your back, just enjoy yourself. If you're twisting, take that right arm, needle it underneath your left and grab onto your knee. And maybe round your back a little bit, tuck your chin. Maybe you lift your knees, lift your chest, and release. Let's twist over to the left. And then take that left arm, needle it under the right, grab onto your right knee. And maybe lift and lower your knees. Flex and extend your spine. And let's release the legs. Come down onto the back. So yes, we are going to go into a back bend. But like you know, right? What you do, you don't need to do a pose in order to do another one necessarily, but what you do to prepare for something has such an impact. So with all of this twisting, all of this experiencing and experimenting with the back, go into a standard, let's call it, bridge pose. Maybe interlacing your fingers behind you. You might find that it feels a little better. You might be a little less dependent on your lower back, for instance. More engaged in your mid and upper back. When you decide to come down, do something that feels really sweet on your hips. So maybe that's feet together, knees apart. Maybe that's hugging the knees in. Let's let the hips shift over to the left a little and the knees drop to the right. If you'd like to try a different variation of this twist, like maybe straightening your legs, even eagle legs could be suitable. Whatever feels good. And then we'll go to the other side. Come on back to center. And let's go into Savasana. If you want to let your knees windshield wipe side to side, go ahead. If you want to do anything else or put sleeves back on if you're a little chilly, but get comfortable, please. Now, I don't know what you guys feel, of course, but when I do that type of movement, especially with the repetition that we did today, I feel like the Tin Man who just got his shoulders and his spine oiled, and everything feels just a little bit better, a little bit easier. I want you to find that in your Shavasana. Take a deep breath in. Another sit, really fill up, rib cage, belly, all of it, like your whole body was lung tissue. And let it go. And use your imagination. Just figure your nervous system just sent the signal to every muscle cell in your body to stop contracting. Imagine every signal or every cell, no matter what type it was and where it was, whether it was for an organ or blood or bone or a neuron, anything, was shifting its dynamic equilibrium, its homeostasis towards health, going further and further in that degree, towards health, towards ease, towards peace of mind. As if it were a ladder and you just climbed up a rung. And now you rest. Softening the forehead, letting the eyes drop into their sockets. The eyelids go completely heavy and soft. At ease. And when you find you're going into default thinking, note that that is one of the most incredible aspects of your brain. And if you want to shift your default, remind yourself gently of the intention you set. and let everything go quiet. Feel all of the attachments get weaker, all of the spaces get longer. So perhaps you imagine before you come out of Shavasana, the future, the immediate future almost. Like when you get in your car, for instance, or if you're home, when you leave the room and you go on to your next thing, maybe you're making a meal or getting ready for bed or going to see a friend, whatever it is. Just imagine yourself unbothered, unattached, at ease. Like you're practicing it. You're moving closer and closer to shifting your equilibrium towards that. And then go ahead and start to move a little bit. You can fan out your fingers, make circles with your wrists and ankles, turn your head left and right. You can roll onto your side and up to sit when you're ready. And just, again, practice. It doesn't have to last. It's okay if it doesn't. We're just practicing it. Just practice not reacting. The face soft, spine long. And bring the hands behind you. If you want to fold forward, take a breath in. And go ahead and fold over your legs. And thank you very, very much, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your night or day.